Hi, I'm Nicole Kemper. I'm a writer, filmmaker, and actor living in Atlanta, Georgia. This is 50 Foot Woman, and I've committed to shooting at least one roll of motion picture film per month in 2024. So if you have been watching my videos, if so, welcome back. If you're new, hey, welcome to the video series, 50 Foot Woman. You may have noticed in the intro that I didn't specify that I'd be shooting one roll of Super 8 film or one roll of 8mm film per month. Don't worry, I've not wavered in my commitment to Super 8 film, but I did acquire a 16mm camera towards the end of 2023. So that's all I'll say about that for now. So stay tuned, but I'm gonna be mixing it up a little bit, but still committed to shooting at least one roll of film, motion picture film specifically per month, and hopefully a lot of still film. So I've got a lot of things I wanna try out this year. Hope everybody had a good break. I know I did. I feel like it went by really fast. But the first thing that I wanted to do as far as new videos in 2024 is I wanted to share some of my holiday haul. So some things that I got as gifts at the end of the year. My birthday is in December, and also there are several holidays that we celebrate in December. And so I got some cool stuff, and I just wanted to share. First up, I finally got a real light meter. So I got a Sekonic light meter. It is analog. It's not battery operated, so it doesn't. So I can kind of use it on the go anywhere. I've been playing around with it a little bit, and I did actually have one of these. I did use one of these. I should say I didn't have one, but when I was in graduate school, we did shoot a couple of projects on film, and they did make an attempt to teach me how to use one of these. And at the time, I think it was just a little overwhelming, not having any experience in film, digital or otherwise. It was a little overwhelming trying to understand aperture and shutter speed and frame rates and how all of those things relate to exposure. And I think that it was a bit much for me at the time. But having spent last year working with film, and so of course a lot of my cameras have light meters in them, and they're quite good. So my Mamiya 645 has a light meter in it. Obviously a lot of the Super 8 cameras that I was using last year have automatic exposure. My Pentax ME Super also has a light meter in it. But I also have a couple of cameras that don't, and which I'll get into as we get into some more videos, some cameras that I haven't introduced you to yet that I did acquire last year. And so I have a light meter app on my phone, and it works fine, and it's great, and it's right in my pocket, but I wanted to have something a little bit better and more reliable. And so far so good. I've been trying it out. It's pretty easy to use. Maybe I'll do a video on it in the future, but this Sekonic light meter, right now I've got it set so, you hold it up to the subject's face and measure the amount of light coming in, which is a little bit different than when you're measuring it using the built-in light meters that are on your camera. Usually those are sort of measuring the light that's coming from what you've pointed the camera at into the camera, as opposed to measuring the light that's kind of coming off the subject. So I'm looking forward to using this to try out maybe some things that are a little riskier, where I'm really able to take very accurate readings on various parts of the subject or the scene, and then kind of base my aperture or shutter speed on that. So Sekonic light meter, more on that maybe in a future video, and looking forward to using it. Next, I got a couple of books that I'm really excited about. Both of these books were recommendations from the Film Photography Podcast. So if you've never heard of the Film Photography Project, they're amazing. They are keeping old film formats alive. You can buy a lot of really old and kind of rare types of film. They do develop and scan some of these rare types of film. They have a YouTube channel that was a huge incredible resource for me throughout last year as I was sort of beginning my journey working with still and motion picture film. And they have a podcast. And so both of these books were books that were mentioned as I was sort of binging all of their podcasts. And I'll put a link below to their website, Film Photography Project. You can take a look at their a lot of the things that they sell or services that they offer or educational programs that they're offering. They're very big on education, which is really great. And you can check out their YouTube videos, which are incredibly helpful for somebody like me who's, just starting out with this stuff. So first we've got Good Pictures. By Kim Beal. Good Pictures is based on a collections of I don't want to call them manuals, but they're like photography books that were released over time. I think they were released by Kodak, but they were giving advice about how to take good pictures. And the advice from all of these books that were released throughout history as photography technology changed and what we think of as a good or interesting or cutting edge picture changed. They had releases in the 1930s and the 1940s and the 50s, 60s, 70s, you name it. And as the taste and technology changed, so of course these good pictures or what makes a good picture, those ideas kind of changed. And so this author, Kim Beal, has sort of compiled all of that into one book. I've started reading it, haven't really gotten into it yet. So maybe I'll do like a review of the book at some point once I've finished it. But it's a history of popular photography. And so there's lots of great examples in here. And for somebody like me who maybe I didn't, my education in university education was not based on photography, so I'm actually lacking in a lot of knowledge about film. Well, I'm not lacking in knowledge about film history. I feel pretty solid about my film history knowledge, but photography history is sort of a gap in my knowledge. And so I'm looking forward to reading this, and maybe I can get back to you with my thoughts on Good Pictures by Kim Beal. Next up is Super 8, an illustrated history by Danny Plotnick. And I started reading this. Again, I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's pretty fascinating. It's really just a compilation of interviews with people who have, or artists that have used Super 8 and who have found it to be an art form that really speaks to them, but also just sort of a history of how Super 8 film got started, technology, how the technology evolved. It's also got some stuff about projectors in there, and also equipment for editing, like film splicers and stuff. There's a lot of illustrations. I'm particularly excited to get into some of the interviews. But yeah, the illustrations that are compiled here and some of the old ads are really fantastic. I'm processing different film stocks over time. I'm just gonna rest this here on my collarbone. How Super 8 film, just how it began, how it evolved, and how people have used it throughout time to express themselves. I'm really interested in learning a little bit more about movements or artistic movements or film movements that are tied to Super 8, because even though I studied film in school and I've been working in the film and television industry, Super 8, I think, is a format that gets largely ignored as kind of like a consumer format or a lesser format. And so I can't recall any time spent, at least in my school, talking about Super 8. So I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more information about this really wonderful format that I've fallen in love with. Again, once I finish the book, maybe I'll follow up with you guys. I'll do a video, or maybe I'll do a short, a YouTube short, a reel. Anyway, I'll do something maybe giving you some of my thoughts on the book once I've finished. And that is Super 8, an illustrated history by Danny Plotnick. Okay, I'm not saying I saved the best for last, because I'm really excited about all those other things, but I am pretty darn excited about this. So let me get it open for you. Ooh. What we've got here is the Kodak Junior Series 2 620 camera. So according to the antique booth where I discovered her, this camera is from 1932. It takes 620 film, which I was able to purchase through the Film Photography Project. Although maybe in the future, I could do a video on 620 film and how it differs from 120 film, but there are some other, other YouTubers that have made videos about that in the past. So you could certainly look that up. Essentially, 620 film is the same as 120 film. It's just on a different spool because Kodak had to be a diva and create a film format where the film is basically the same, but just on a different spool. So I have used it. I have not developed the film just yet. I'm going to send it off this week to the darkroom in San Clemente, California. I did clean the lens. Actually the parts on the outside were pretty clean. I did kind of dust it off a little bit, but whoever had it took good care of it. The booth where I purchased from, whoever was selling it, obviously had cleaned it up or taken care of it. So the lens is actually in quite good shape, as is this kind of piece of glass that's used for the wastefinder. So the cool thing about this is you can film it sort of in portrait style, or you can turn it. Let me see if I'm turning it the right way. You can turn it, and the little wastefinder guy turns as well. So you can actually do a portrait or landscape with it. It's got a couple different shutter speeds on it. You've got a timed one, which is it holds open until you click it. A long exposure. We've got 25, 50, and 100. So there are not too many variations. And then the lens itself, the widest it goes is f11. So it is one that you're going to want to have a lot of light. This is definitely, this girl's going to be probably for outdoors, or if at some point I experiment with some more studio photography, she's going to need some light. And you know what? What's really going to help me with this girl? My Sekonic light meter, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing how these turn out. And of course I will be sharing them on my blog on Substack. So that was my haul from the holidays. I'm really excited about this new year and what all the kinds of analog adventures I'm gonna get into. I've already shot, I actually have shot a lot of film at the end of last year that I haven't even posted yet. So I've got some exciting episodes planned, so I hope you'll come back and check out some more. Some goals for 2024. I would like to get into actually using some of these cameras to shoot some short films or sketches. I love comedy, and I think that there's this trend where when we're making sketches or short comedy films, we're using the sort of most cheapest video technology possible to do them. So it's like comedy is like a thing that we shoot on our phone. And let me just say, I'm not being a snob about this. I think it's amazing that people have the ability, they have a camera in their pocket and they can express themselves at any time. And I've seen some of the funniest things shot on a phone. But I also think there's this like attitude that if you're going to use film, that it's got to be this incredibly like deep, or like there's like only certain things that deserve the sanctity of celluloid, and comedy doesn't tend to fall into those boxes. I disagree. I think comedy is awesome. So I would like to use some of these cameras to shoot some really short, I don't know, like under 5 minutes, like maybe 3 to 5 minute sketches or shorts. So I'm looking forward to trying some of that out and then sharing the results with you. And then also I'm hoping to learn how to develop my own film this year. I don't know if I'll be able to get into developing motion picture film. I've been doing a lot of research on it, and I know that it's a lot more involved than still film. So I'm just we're gonna start with still film, and we're gonna see how that goes. I'm sort of assembling some equipment. My friend, Alan, he loaned me a couple of the canisters. He develops his own film. He's got a couple canisters he's not using. And so he's loaned me a couple, like a Joe Blow canister, I think, and another canister. And then I've got a dark bag, and I don't have any chemicals yet, but I'm just kind of assembling the pieces, and I need to clean out the underneath the sink in my bathroom so that I have room to store my chemicals. And so I think my bathroom in my master bathroom is probably going to become my sort of makeshift dark room. But once I sort of get things together, I am absolutely going to be sharing that journey with you as well. Thanks for watching. I'm excited that you're here. If you feel like you liked this, if you feel like you got something out of this video, I don't know, maybe give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm so thrilled. We actually, at the end of last year, we reached 100 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you for being here, and thank you for watching these videos. I'm also gonna add a link in the description of this video to my Substack. It's a blog where I'm posting links to these YouTube videos, but also photo shoots and photo walks and things that I'm doing with my still photography. So if you're interested in that, you can find that link below in the description. Happy New Year, and let's shoot more film, you guys.